who doesn't like money? So welcome back to my channel. As you may know, my name is Teresa, and if you don't know, I am an adult content creator, and this page is to create educational content for my fellow adult content creators. In this video, I'll be talking about the top 10 things I wish I had known before I started my OnlyFans account. Number 1, I wish I had known how popular the platform would become. When I started OnlyFans, I was only the third person I knew who had switched over from Dropbox to OnlyFans, and even at that point, not that many people were doing Dropbox. Like, the Dropbox market was not oversaturated the way that the OnlyFans market seems to be today. I don't really think it is, because I think everyone has something different to offer. So if you can make a little bit of extra money, even if you only make a couple $100s, you might not make a living off of it. It's not like we can all sell nudes, but if you want to make a profile, I really don't see any harm in it. But there are so many people that have them now, and no one had an OnlyFans when I started. I knew 2 people that had an OnlyFans when I originally started, and it was way, way different back then. They didn't even tell you your percentage when I started. That's how long ago it was. Number 2, I would say, I wish I had known how mean people on the internet are. Even when you stay in your own lane and like you're minding your own business, everyone on the internet like has something to say about you selling nudes, which I think is completely ridiculous, honestly, because it's my life. If I don't even know you, why are you so bothered by what I do with my free time? Why are you so bothered by how I make money? Are you jealous? Because that's what it sounds like, honey. And number 3, I would say, to go along with that, I wish I had realized that adult content creators are just like everyone else. There are some of them that are just full of drama and super catty, but then there are some that are super cool, so nice, and some of my best friends that I've made through this job. Number 4, I wish I had known how much work goes into it, because when I first started, like with Dropbox and OnlyFans, it wasn't that big of a production as it is now. Like, I would just snap a couple pictures, post them a couple times a week, but now I'm uploading 4 times a day and messaging people, sending out mass messages, at least 1 a week, maybe 2. So there's so much that goes into it, and I really wish that I had known that before I started it. But obviously that has changed since then, because the platform has grown and it's more competitive now. Because when I first started, I was posting a couple times a week and calling it good. And then I was posting daily, and that wasn't good enough. And then I started posting 4 times a day and sending out a bunch of mass messages. So yeah, I really wish I had known that it wasn't just gonna be like a side job. Because I ended up quitting my other job 2 months after I started selling Dropbox. So yeah, I was making plenty of money on Dropbox, but I wish I had known how much OnlyFans was going to blow up, because it's really changed like how we even do business and how we upload content to the platform. Number 5, I wish that I had been more well versed in like the technical side of things. I think that if I were one of those girls that cared more about like posting to Instagram, like taking selfies and stuff, I would have been much better prepared for OnlyFans, because I don't know. When I started, I didn't know anything about cameras. I didn't know anything about lighting. Everything I've learned about those things, or even like sets and like frames and how to take pictures, depth of field, all of those things that you don't even think about usually are things that I had to learn while I was doing OnlyFans. So I kind of wish that I had known more about like those things, the technical side of things, before I had started. And number 6, I wish I had known how to utilize more of the features. There are a ton of features on OnlyFans that you can use. You can use scheduled posts, you can run polls, you can send out pay-per-view messages. What else is there? You can set like a goal for how much you want to make on a post. You can send out mass messages. There's so much that you can do on OnlyFans that I didn't take the time to learn when I first started, like I said, because it was so different. It was more like Dropbox, where I could just upload a couple pictures a week and call it good. It was fine. But then once I started getting more competition, then I had to learn how to utilize more of those features to make more money and kind of automate my profile. But when I first started, I didn't know how to do any of that. So make sure you comment down below if you're interested in seeing a video going over some of the features, if you want me to teach you how to use some of those things to help you build your OnlyFans business. Number 7, I guess this is more of something I wish I had known before I started Dropbox specifically, but it's really hard to stay anonymous. When I first started, I was kind of like, well, I was advertising with my face. My face was on my Twitter page and everything. You knew who I was. But in my Dropbox, my face wasn't in any of my pictures. I didn't have my tattoo yet. So there was nothing that you could tell it was me by. So I just kind of figured that when I deactivated my Twitter account, it would all go away and it would be fine. Until I realized that a lot of the people who were buying from me wanted my face in the pictures and that I was gonna lose out on sales if I didn't post my face. And I guess this is kind of a bonus tip, but I wish I had known that I didn't need to let my fans push me around, but they were right on that one. I hate to say it, but they were right. And at this point, I've been doing it for so long, everyone knows that I do it. I don't think that I would have been able to sustain my business had I not just embraced what I was doing and posted my face. I know that was the first thing that I had been taught when I was sending nudes for pleasure, was never put your face in it, because what if it gets leaked? I don't care if my nudes get leaked now, like please don't, because that's how I make my money. But if in 20 years, when I have a husband, maybe a wife, and some children, and somebody tries to bring up the fact that I had an OnlyFans, I'm gonna be like, yeah, and so who cares? If they pull up a picture of me naked, I'm gonna be like, thank you for reminding me how hot I was in my 20s. I miss that. But yeah, it is really hard to stay anonymous, so I wish that I had just let it go from the very beginning and posted my face. Who cares? I'm not saying that you couldn't do it anonymously, but it's much, much harder, and it's harder to sustain a business practice that way. I would say more importantly than trying to advertise without your face in it is maybe just grow your platforms and wait for people to DM you. And if you're trying to stay anonymous and like not let people know that you have an OnlyFans, I would say it's better to use your regular profile, and if someone messages you, send them the link directly instead of trying to not have your face and just do it all completely anonymously. Because that's the reason people buy nudes instead of just getting their content from free sites, is because they like the personal connection from it. And if you don't have your face in it, then it's less personal. The 8th thing I would say that I wish I had known how important it was to stay active. Like I mentioned before, when I first started, I only posted a couple photos a week because that's how it was. That's fine. That's how it was fine back then, but like I said, things have changed. So I just kind of wish that I had treated it like a business from day one and stayed active, you know, every single day. Because maybe if I had done that in the beginning, I would be twice as far as I am now. And I'm doing pretty well right now. Just imagine where I would be if I had started posting 4 times a day when I first started in July of 2019. The 9th thing I wish I had known when I first started my OnlyFans was actually how much confidence it would give me. I want to tell this little story about my friend's mom, who told me she was concerned about me, that I had low self-esteem and I was insecure, and that was the only reason that I was selling nudes. And she kind of had pulled me aside, not really pulled me aside, but my friend was cooking. She was in the kitchen or something, and I was sitting on the couch with her mom, and her mom started telling me about how she thought that I was only selling nudes because I was insecure and needed the validation, which maybe that is why I started selling nudes. I did need the extra money, I'll say that. I would say the main reason that I started selling nudes is actually because I needed the money, but I see where she's coming from, and maybe that is how things started, but that's not how things are now. I'm so confident. I used to get nervous when people were like, oh, you're that girl with the OnlyFans, and now I'm like, hell yeah, I'm the girl with the OnlyFans. My makes me a nice salary. I probably make more money than you working a full-time job in corporate America while I sit at home petting my kitty, if you know what I mean. And I also love my job because I've really been able to be my most authentic self. When I was little, I wanted to be a playmate, and I love being creative. And when I was younger, I also did some modeling. So it's almost like this is everything I've ever wanted, all combined into one. And I think when I first started, I took that for granted. I think that I didn't remember who I was. I don't think I knew who I was. Maybe it wasn't even that I didn't remember who I was, but I didn't really know who I was. But selling nudes, I've had to figure it out, because if I'm standing on a shaky foundation, anyone can knock me down, you know? So I've definitely gained a lot of confidence, you know? I'm always looking in the mirror and on camera, so if I weren't confident, I think my life would suck. And I wouldn't want that. So I'm so thankful for that. And that leads me into number 10. The 10th thing that I wish I had known before starting my OnlyFans is that it would become the biggest blessing in my life. It paid for me to move to another state. It's paid for me to take vacations. It paid for my brand new car. It bought me a house. It's paying for me to go to school. And it's also brought me some of my best friends. Some of the greatest people I know are other girls that I've met through selling content. It has been a crazy journey. It's had some really high highs and it's had some really low lows, but I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world, because it's gotten me to where I am now. If I hadn't started selling content, I would still be stuck living in Iowa in maybe my parents' house, maybe an apartment. I would have gone to school for agriculture, which I don't really have an interest in anymore. I think I kind of adopted that as I was growing up in a rural community, that was a safe route to take. I didn't get good grades. It was pretty easy. I loved animals. That's kind of how I first got into it. I loved working and being on my feet. I didn't want to have a desk job, so that was another reason I chose to take a route into agriculture, job stability, and just fitting in. And now I'm realizing that I don't need to fit in. I can be who I am, and that is just the greatest blessing. So I have to thank OnlyFans for bringing that assurance into my life. You know, sometimes it's really hard when people on the internet are mean to me, or when people call me ugly, tell me that I shouldn't make any money, tell me that I'm stupid. I hate it when people talk to me like I'm stupid in general. It's not just people telling me that I'm stupid. It's just the way people talk to you when they know that that is your job. It can be frustrating, but overall, it's been a very positive experience, and I'm so grateful for it. So I'm planning on continuing to do this for a few years, at least until I start to let my body go. Because like I said, it is a great option to make money. Even if you're not like me, posting 4 times a day and creating new content once a week, or getting all dressed up and buying a DSLR and tripods and lighting. Even if you're not like that, it can still bring you a couple $100 per month, and who doesn't like money? So, all right, well, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, the notification bell, so that you're notified every time I post new vanilla content to YouTube, or you can subscribe to my OnlyFans. I wouldn't argue if you wanted to do that either. But I'm Teresa, and I'll see you next time.